Craigs, it took a little bit to get going tonight, but you must be pleased with the way the boys performed, but then at the same time a bit disappointed with that final kick of the ball, really.
Yeah, well, we're naturally disappointed we conceded the goal so late. First 15 minutes apart, for some reason it took us a little while to get going. Pitch was a little bit sticky. I'm probably searching for excuses for them. We just looked a little bit disjointed defensively. There was too many gaps between the two centre halves and didn't win first balls and second balls. But I thought the goal that they scored probably settled us down. I felt we kind of wrestled the game back into our favour again. And I think from then on, I was delighted how we played. Naturally, you're disappointed when you lose a goal late on. We haven't had much luck against Aberdeen since I took over. They got a penalty here last year to beat us 2-1. They got a late winner just before Christmas last year, and they've got a late equaliser here tonight. But in general terms of how they played and the appetite they showed for the game, their willingness to be brave and go and get on the ball and believe in themselves, I thought we were excellent.
As a team, yeah, you're right, there was a lot of good performances tonight, especially like Dylan Faulkner and Dean Brill. Just what were the standouts for you tonight?
Yeah, well, just, you'd asked me yesterday about consistency and how you get that consistency and how you push them on, and I said that comes down to a bit of a self-responsibility. They have to go out and continue to do the habits we've been spoken about, make their habits good. Continually pass the ball well enough, be brave enough in possession, rotate when we can't get on the ball. If Dean hadn't made those saves in the opening 14-15 minutes, the game would have been out of sight. So, Aberdeen will probably be disappointed that they haven't put us to bed early on. So, I then said to Peter Morrison that Dean's the example of what you have to do. Making big saves at crucial moments. His understanding the game, his reading of the game. I thought it was excellent, really, really good. And young Dylan, it's probably as good as he's been since he came in. I've been a little bit critical of him. Not critical as in having a go, but just I expect more of him. And the feedback I was getting before I came in was he was going to be the next superstar. So tonight he showed glimpses of it eventually. But I thought his willingness to run in behind, he came in as a centre forward and he's playing off the left. But in general play, the positives were that we were better on the ball, I felt, than they were as the game went on. We looked a bit of a threat. We made the pitch big, we got on the ball, so that's all you want to encourage young players. You want to encourage them to play in a style where they can be brave and enjoy the game, and I certainly enjoy watching them.
Undefeated so far, yes, it's only 2 games in, but that must be a positive to take forward into the next few games.
Yeah, without looking too far ahead, we had 3 points after 2 games last year, and we put 4 points after 2 games, so if the season panned out the way last season did with regards to the league and the consistency levels, I felt as if that I'd said to them that the difference between playing Edinburgh and then going to play Airdrie would probably be a jump up, and from playing Inverness to playing Aberdeen in the league would be a little bit of a jump up. So it was interesting to see how they could cope. Could we try and put our style of play or the way we want to play onto Aberdeen, who are a good side? I felt we did. So yes, unbeaten in 2 games. It would have been nice to have had 6 points. I think we deserved it tonight. I think we deserved to win the game, if I'm being brutally honest. They'll feel like they had a couple of chances, particularly first half, to put us to bed. But I think the longer the game went, we looked the more dominant side. I felt we had the better players. Maybe I'm being biased, but that's just what I generally felt.
You touched on the artificial surface, and when we spoke to you yesterday, you obviously mentioned it's much better playing on a natural pitch. Do you think it did have an impact at all tonight in terms of that maybe first 15 minutes?
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of the sting out of the game at times. You have to force your passes a little bit more. You've got to pass the ball a little bit firmer. Just because it was dry. Even we've played AstroTurf before, I played here when it's kind of rain or it's a bit kind of misty. There's a little bit of dew in the grass and it makes the ball just go that little bit quicker. So probably first 10-15 minutes we were taking too many touches, we were getting caught in the ball. Our final ball wasn't good enough probably in the first half. Just playing more of the risk as opposed to just playing the safety. So, but once the game opened up, it was better for us. Naturally, we'd rather play in grass or we'd rather have this place soaked. It's not. It is what it is. So, as much as it's nice for the fans to come and enjoy the weather, I think we would prefer a little bit of dew in the pitch.
Well, another great performance, Craig. So, well done. Cheers.